Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ash and I'm back with another review for a Strategic Mind title. This time it's Strategic Mind Spirit of Liberty that has just released onto the Xbox store on the 26th of October 2023. Now, this is developed by Starny Games and published by Klabater, and they were kind enough to send me a copy, as always, to do this video review, so huge thank you to them for that. Now, we've covered quite a few of the Strategic Mind games on Xbox already. This one is probably their newest release. I believe it also came to Steam a few months ago, so like whereas some of the others are a couple of years old and they've now finally been ported over to Xbox, this one is very new. It's only a couple of months old and it's now been ported to Xbox and PlayStation platforms thanks to Klabater. Now, this is more of the same. If you've played a Strategic Mind game, it's a sort of World War II based turn-based strategy where you command a whole range of troops across a variety of different campaigns. Now, this one pretty much plays exactly the same as all the others, and while this one does feel like they've made a few little improvements, it still features some of the issues that the previous releases have. Now, this game features two campaigns, so this one is more based on the Winter War. So this one has a historical campaign from 1939 to 1945. It starts off with the Winter War through to the Lapland War, and this is full of like smaller scale operations covering a whole host of iconic battles from history. Now, there's also a second campaign. Now, this campaign is slightly shorter, but it has bigger, like larger operations, and these are centered around what-if scenarios. So it's like you can take Leningrad as the Germans. You can cut off Allied aid shipments to the USSR by taking the part of Murmansk and stuff like that. And I love the alternate what-if timeline sort of versions. Now, I am a big World War II fan. I'm a big strategy game fan as well, like turn-based strategy. I do really enjoy them. And this one is really good. Now, I feel like this one is at a better price than some of the other ones in the series. It's priced at $24.99 normally. It's currently on a launch deal as well, so you can get 10% off, so it's only $22.49 on Xbox. So if you are interested, now may be a good time to buy it. But I do know their last release that I covered was about £40, so this is much cheaper than that one. Now, I'll talk about the negatives first. The UI is still slightly sort of finicky on console. It works much better with mouse and keyboard. I understand that. It's just the best they can do with porting it over to Xbox. There's still a lot of fluff that you have to show, but you can't quickly click like you can with a mouse, basically. There's also a tutorial which, while in-depth, isn't ideal. It does teach you stuff, but I feel like it doesn't teach you enough, and sometimes it shows you too much and it gets a bit confusing, which is a shame. But if you've played any of the other games in the series, you'll probably be able to pick this one up absolutely fine. Now, the biggest bugbear with this game, as always, is the the terrible cutscenes. Like, the horrendously grotesque, weird, like robotic people and voice acting. Now, I love the fact that they've at least took the time to put voice acting into the game. It's great. But they're still wooden, like, puppets all the way through, and it doesn't help the fact you end up laughing at them more than like being enthralled by them. Now, obviously that isn't the main focus of the game. These sort of cinematics, they play before and after each operation just to sort of push the story forward, and I believe there's over an hour's worth of in-game cinematics for you to absolutely enjoy in this release. Now, the sounds from the battles and stuff like that, like the tanks shooting, the artillery, everything like that, that all sounds awesome. And graphically, the game doesn't look too bad at all. Like, it's detailed enough for what it is. This is like a hexagonal board, turn-based sort of strategy game. The units and the vehicles are detailed enough and as close to like the real-life counterparts as they need to be for what's on offer. It's not a game where it throws like tons and tons of like people on the screen at once, and it has to sort of detail every single one of them. You've normally got little squads of men or like the odd single like mobile unit. Now, gameplay wise, like I say, it plays very much similar to all the rest. You play through the campaigns. There's primary and secondary objectives to work through them, and these are like narrated as you go, which I think are great. There's a whole host of different vehicles as well, so obviously this is more focusing on like the Finnish side of the war. So this is when like the Soviets attacked Finland with like 500,000 soldiers. Now, this is basically all about Finland trying to stop them and surviving against these ongoing attacks. So you get to use a whole host of sort of Finnish weaponry, which is really cool as well as Soviet vehicles. So for you World War II lovers and nerds out there, you've got like BT-7s, T-34s, KV tanks, Stug assault guns, Ju-88 bombers, and more. Now, you can also upgrade your units as you're playing to better models, like newer models, at historically accurate points in time as well, which is nice. You can't just upgrade them willy-nilly. You have to do it at the right time. Like, as time progresses in the world, you can then get better equipment. Now, I love that you get to combine your units, so you can have a mix of like tanks, infantry, assault, anti-tank weapons and stuff like that, and you get to sort of combine them to make them the most lethal and effective they can be. I love the variety of vehicles, weapons, equipment, and everything that you can equip, and I like the hero system that this game provides. So you can get your units to eventually end up with like a unique hero from World War II as part of them, which is really cool. And these are all historically accurate World War II heroes as well, and they just make them better. Basically, they give them bonuses and everything like that. Now, these can include all sorts of different characters, but I feel like this one has done really well. Like, it feels a bit more polished than some of the previous releases, and it doesn't feel like the worst port. Like, it's still not perfect when you're playing it on an Xbox. If you want the best version of this game, the PC version is probably the best with a keyboard and mouse. But overall, the game itself plays well. It's a slow affair. It's not like a really quick-paced like Battlefield. It's a much more turn-based, moving your troops carefully and concisely and putting them in the right points for a variety of different scenarios and stuff like that, where you have to like think about line of sight, zone control, using the terrain to your advantage. It's really cool, and if you spend the time and effort to get into it, you'll really see how deep and like rich the game actually is. You've got to think about ammunition and fuel, supply points, controlling like airfields and seaports to ensure you can generate supplies and repairs and stuff like that. You have to cut off your enemy's supply points and stuff, destroy infrastructure and stuff like that. It's really in depth, and I'm honestly like, every time I play these, I do complain about the cutscenes and the voice acting being a bit naff, but the actual game that's on offer here and with all of their other releases, is so in-depth, it more than makes up for that. One day, they're going to smash it out of the park with, like, fantastic cutscenes and voice acting, and we're going to be blown away, and it'll be like the complete package. But if you can ignore them, and I bet most people just skip the cutscenes anyway, and they just want to play the game itself is nice, deep, and challenging, and that's what you want from one of these games. So check it out. Like I say, it's playable on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S consoles. It's also available on PlayStation 4 and 5 as well. So it's priced at $24.99 normally, but like I say, at time of recording, there's still over a week left to get that 10% discount for the launch to get it at $22.49. So hit that like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below to let me know which strategic World War II games you recommend me playing in the future, preferably on consoles, but I'm also happy to check them out on PC. But other than that, guys, we'll see you soon for more content. Bye for now.